Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, sorry. Let me get these cards ready. Ooh, no, no, no. I saw a card that I don't want to pull. Hey. Okay. I'm just getting these cards ready. You are making this happen. So there's something that you want or need to happen for yourself, and you are being given the authority and the opportunity to make this happen for you. I feel like it's super important for us to kind of just take a moment to kind of just take a moment and assess where we're at within our journey, right? What is going on? What have you been dealing with? How has this been affecting you? And, is it something that's beneficial? Is it something that, you're avoiding simply because it's uncomfortable, but it's definitely something that you have to go through? Because if that's the case, push through it and make it happen, right? Push through the discomfort, the awkwardness, the uncertainty. Just push through all of these different things that are very, very heavy in your thoughts and causing you to be resistant to the process that you're actually in. So I know as of late, there's been a lot of attempts to skew, to cause people to question themselves. These are not bad things. They're not bad things, but if you're not aware of how these are cultivating you, then it'll cause you to potentially tailspin. It'll cause you to feel some type of way about yourself. Oh, let me share this with you guys. 1 second. I need to airdrop it. Oh, the petty is strong in me today. Well, it's not even necessarily about pettiness. It's about clarification so that people understand exactly what it is that these readings are intended for. Right? Right. Give me 1 second. I'm still shuffling these cards and I will put it up on that screen. All right. So let's go ahead and look at this real quick. This is what I'm talking about when I say, if you are not in a space of awareness for yourself, let me expand this so it's easier to read. Okay. Let's expand this a little bit more. Right. So we have Rainbow Rains here on a public post, left a public comment. Let's go ahead and share that. It says, sorry, I have to unsubscribe. I can't figure out what the reading is. You spend too much time talking about yourself. Which parts are the reading? Which parts are about you? Well, since you asked, there is this nifty little concept of just simply clicking unsubscribe and scrolling along without needing to announce anything or explain. Your life will be perfectly fine. This content is for people who have the skill to recognize analogies and apply the understanding gained to their own circumstance. You don't have that skill. That's okay. Again, your life will be perfectly fine if you never come back, right? What I do here is not a reading. I've said it on TikTok, but I don't believe I've said it here on YouTube. I don't do tarot card readings. I use cards to focus my intuition. I use cards to focus my attention on the messages from soul. And this is not a Piscean reading. Although you see Pisces in the title, that is to counteract the active shadow band that I've been on for several years, right? For several years. So now that we're clear, I speak about myself because that is what I've mastered, my life and my circumstance. it would be rather pompous of me to speak about things that I have no experience in. So I also have issues with dictating to people how to live, how they should receive their information, what this information should mean to them. So what I do is I share of my life experiences, how it grew me, in hopes that for those of you who are truly part of my community, that it's an analogy. And if you can understand the patterning, if you can recognize what this patterning means for you in your life, then you can apply that and hopefully avoid difficult circumstance. This is definitely not a channel that is intended to be like every other tarot channel here on YouTube. I'd say thousands of those. I would say thousands of those. If you're ready to grow yourself, and I'm being completely serious, if you're ready to grow yourself and take a good hard look at how these stories of mine apply to your life, and you're in control here because you can decide whether or not any of what I say applies or doesn't. You have that authority. Just because you're of a specific sign does not mean anything I will say in that video will apply to you. This channel is all about sovereignty, autonomy, developing your ability to think for yourself. And if me speaking about myself is something that's offensive, I mean, like I said, there's thousands of other folks who will give you exactly what you're looking for. Oh, he wants you, he needs you, twin flame, twin flame. You don't have to do anything. You just breathe in, breathe out, meditate. Life will be good. No, it's not your fault. Yeah, I don't do that here. I don't do that here. I'm real, I'm raw, and this reading is about to start. So you are making this happen. There's nothing that you need to change. I like these. I like these. See, if you understand who you are and what you're doing, at least to some degree, the people who come along and try and project onto you their lack of skill in discerning for themselves, their lack of capacity to understand how everything and anything in your life can give you messages. It's one of those things where I understand what I'm doing, at least to some minimal degree. I'm not just talking about myself. I'm not. I'm not. I see signs in everything around me. Everything around me. Right? So my bestie she gifted me peonies for my birthday. She had it delivered. And it was a thing of it's more than just a very sweet act. It's more than just someone who deeply knows me and all of these very intricate aspects of me doing what I would, find very, very sweet. There's so many layers and levels to a simple act of sending me flowers. Right. And I believe I've shared it here, the many ways in which that represented so much about what's happening in my process, my growth. If you allow yourself to see all of these different things that are happening around you, you'll be shown beyond the shadow of any doubt how you are actually making things happen. It is you. You're making it happen. You're pushing it along. There is nothing about you that needs to be irrevocably changed. You'll go through your moods, right? You'll go through the things that you're going through. I'm going through stuff. And like I said, I'm going to keep talking about myself because for my entire life, I haven't shared any of myself until maybe, I don't know, the past 2 years. So I'm going to keep talking about myself. It's time for me to. It's time for me to process my life, right? It's time. It's time. And whenever you experience things where something clearly is an attempt to shame you back into a space of confinement, wild out, be rebellious. I'm not even angry. I was just being dramatic, right? Seriously, be rebellious. Be like, no, I'm not going to stop talking about myself. I'm not going to stop doing the very thing that's liberating me. Because what? Because you don't understand? That sounds like a you problem. Sound like a you problem, right? There's nothing about you that needs to be irrevocably changed. You are not broken. You are not damaged. You are simply existing in a space of not understanding the gravity of the process that you're in. Now, when people do these types of things to you, when circumstance does this to you, where clearly you're being given the opportunity to re-enter into a space of fear of yourself. What will people think of me? Honey, they're going to think whatever they're going to think anyways. I'm telling you. They are going to think whatever they're going to think because this is how human nature is. You cannot control someone else's thoughts. No matter how much you try and confine yourself, dilute yourself, dim your shine, or any other analogy that you can think of, it's not going to work. People are going to receive you at the capacity that they are capable of receiving others. And unfortunately, or realistically, however you want to frame this in your mind, um, some people are incapable of seeing others for what they truly are, which is a gift, a testament to the tenacity of soul. What happens when you allow yourself to finally be yourself? These people will feel threatened and they will project onto you. Here's a message from soul. Security. You are secure. You are secure. There's nothing wrong with you. There will be things that will try and talk to you in covert ways about how you should feel insecure. You should feel this way. You should feel that way. Right? Why do you need to feel insecure? I think part of what empowers me, here I go talking about myself again. Part of what empowers me is the fact that I have resigned myself. I have deeply accepted the reality. Not everyone will understand me. Not everyone will accept me. Not everyone will be okay with my existence and my freedom to speak. Not everyone will be okay with that. That's okay. I expect that. I expect others to not feel comfortable around me, not because I'm intending for them to feel uncomfortable, but because I represent a truth that can no longer be silenced. I am an immutable truth, a living, breathing example of what happens when you embrace your divinity, your autonomy, and you armor yourself in courage. And so when people tell me, I don't like you, okay, have a good life. There's billions of people in this world. I have ADHD. I won't miss you. If you're trying to hurt my feelings by telling me you're leaving, I have ADHD and I'm autistic. I don't connect with people deeply for a long time. And if you think one comment from someone I do not know is going to hurt my feelings, I'm like, you really could have just left. I wouldn't have realized you were gone because I didn't even know you were here. It was no big deal. Like, you didn't owe me an explanation as to why you're leaving. I didn't even know you were here. I'm being completely serious. This is how my brain functions. Like, unless you are in my life consistently, day in, day out, day in, day out for a prolonged period, even my siblings, months go by and I'm just like, oh my God, I need to check on my sibling. Like, holy crap. I haven't checked on him in months. Like, months. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. He probably thinks I left him to die. That's how my brain works. I give myself permission now to be myself. I used to drive myself crazy trying to be what I thought other people wanted me to be, never considering my own needs, never considering how all of this effort to accommodate the potential feelings I might bring out of people if I don't give them all of my attention. It made me sick, literally sick. Never speaking my truth, never allowing myself to communicate my needs, never allowing myself to process my life. I damaged my thyroid off of it. It is not coincidence that at the height of people accessing me 24 hours a day, literally 24 hours a day, and I would respond to everyone, my thyroid went kaput. My hands and my feet turned completely orange. And it hurt to speak. It hurt to breathe. It hurt to exist inside a physical body. Why? I was always afraid if I phrase things wrong, if I say the wrong thing, if I don't say the right thing. Do you know how taxing that is when you have to do that for 4 or 5 people? Do you know how taxing that is that every 15 minutes, literally, I'm speaking in literal terms, every 15 minutes, I get a notification from Facebook Messenger that I have over 99 new messages waiting to be read. You guys, I am no celebrity. I'm not sharing this to be like, I'm cool. I'm a celebrity. I'm an influencer. Oh, poor me. Like, no, I'm bringing up the point of we as empaths, we consistently ignore our own needs to accommodate the preferences and demands of others. I'm not telling you not to care because there's no way I'm not going to care. That's who I am. But there needs to be a balance. There needs to be at least one person in your life. And if that's me, by all means, I will be it. One person in your life will be the voice of reason. Like, fuck that. You don't need to deal with that. That's too much. Nope. That's too much. The way they're treating you is not okay. You don't have to take that. And I know you're still going to take some of it because that's how I am too. As it's true. That's how I am too. I'd be really upset. And then I'd be like, oh, fine. I'll just one more thing. I'll answer one more thing. Right? It's not me being a victim. It's me co-creating those circumstances, fueling and perpetuating. So now I give myself permission to retreat, to sink deeper into myself when I need to, and that it's okay. And if people get offended by me addressing my needs, they're just going to have to be offended. If they can't get past that and see that it was not something personal, then they're just going to have to remain upset with me. And that's that. You are making this happen. You are making your healing happen, or you are making this drag out into something much longer than what it needs to be. That you are the one dragging it out. I'm not talking about fault. I'm talking about accountability. I'm talking about the recognition of the way you use your personal power over yourself in your journey, the way you give that power away. And when you recognize you are doing this, you take away the need to be angry with the people who are allowing you to do this to yourself. Do I need to be angry with the people who would consistently message, the hundreds of people that would consistently ask me for money as a complete stranger? Why are you asking me for money? No, I don't need to be angry because guess what? They've seen me time and time and time again giving away my earned living wage. I was not accepting donations. For many years, I did not accept donations at all, ever. Everything came out of my pocket, money I earned. I did that. I made that goodness happen for other people, but I also made that impression. I created the impression that you, as a stranger, could ask me for several thousands of dollars and I will give it to you. Not as a loan, I will give it to you. I did that. So if I don't like the end result of that, I need to not do that. And no, it wasn't me having these events so that I could show off that I have money to give away. Not at all. You come on my live stream and you say something that hurts my heart because you're going through something and it hurts my heart. I'm going to be like, message me. How much do you need? Message me how much. I'll get that to you today. What do you take? PayPal? How can I send that? And I've learned I'm absolutely still like that. When my heart tells me to be, I can never stop being that. That is how I am. But I will not share that with the world anymore. And I will have no hesitation saying no publicly. Boundaries, they're important, they're healthy. And that is how you create a healthier existence for yourself. When people realize that you are not afraid of how you will be viewed, they become less willing to publicly put you on the spot, right? They become less willing. If there's a true need, there's a true need. And you know what I've found? I would say 95% of the time, because I've been doing this for quite a few years, 95% of the time when there is a true need, the person will not ask anyone. They will not tell anyone what is happening. They will simply quietly struggle and deal with it. And I tell you, once I find out about that, you're absolutely on my message ASAP list, which is a very short list. Like, hey, well, what's going on? Let me help. Or I ask, can I bring this to our community? There's a need. Can we just kind of, come together? Can we help? Can you let us do this? Right? And yeah, I've had to do that past several times because everything is tied up with the legal things I'm taking care of. Everything is tied up. And I think that's a very powerful experience, to be put in a space where I can't just quietly do it so the community can come together to do it together. But also still being careful of not allowing our community to be exploited by those who see the potential of being able to exploit. Like, no. No, there was a mother who has quite a few children. I brought her on the live one time. Her children hadn't been able to eat for a couple days. They were waiting for their EBT to come through, and it was bad. And, we came together as a community. We were able to raise them the money, and we got them a dinner that night. Mom went to the ER, and it was like, yes, this is what community is about. And, someone messaged me on one of my business social media platforms and was like, I need money. And what? Okay. Doesn't everyone need money? Yeah, I just saw you help someone. I need you to help me. You look young and able. Help you with what? Do you need me to do some prayers for you? I mean, what is it? Do you want a payment plan for one of my services? What is it? What do you need? I need money. Okay. Well, do you need help writing a resume? Because that's one way you can get money. Like, no, no. My heart does not feel drawn. I do not feel an actual need. No, no, I will not ask my community. No, absolutely not. Boundaries, right? Boundaries are the key. You are a magical being and your magic is about to ramp up. How is this going to happen? Passion. You need to allow yourself to be passionate. You need to allow yourself to enter into a space of recognizing it is your emotions that fuels your power. Oh, Emmy is so emotional, but also, oh my gosh, Emmy is so powerful. Huh. I wonder why. I wonder why. Do those go hand in hand? Absolutely. Absolutely. So these people who will try and tell you that, like, oh, you're too emotional, you're too this. Um, yeah. Yep. Aha, aha, aha. Yep. Um, yeah. No, I'm not even, I don't know if they still watch, but yeah. No, I don't want to mention it. Sorry. Michael was telling me to mention it, and it's just I don't want to. I don't feel like it. I don't want to mention that. Anyways, get creative in reverse. This is telling me that you've gotten too accustomed to being stagnant. So you viewed the lull that you entered into as a period of stagnation that needs to be reframed, that needs to be reassessed. Were you stagnant or were you paused in order to accrue enough energetic charge to launch your ass forward like Jesus himself divinely yeeted your ass across the room? I'm saying, which one is it? I'm inclined to say that Jesus yeeted you, that you needed to accrue the charge in order for Yeshua to yeet your ass. Because sometimes we just need to be yeeted. That's just how it is. So don't get super comfortable thinking you're stagnant because, my dear, stagnant people don't watch me. That's the reality of it. Stagnant people do not watch me. Just because you haven't detected any type of movement or progression through your journey does not mean you are stagnant. It means you are in a holding pattern temporarily. That's what that means. You need to begin seeing your life in the appropriate way, not in this distorted way that um, most neurotypical people will see their life, right? So my kid was born early 2000, like early 2000. And I had to stop working while I was pregnant because birthing hybrid aliens is very taxing on a human body. I'm just saying, my human half was like, we gonna die. It was hard. Pregnancies are very, very hard on me. So I had to quit. And that was in 2001. That's the last time that um, I worked full time. 2001. And I've had people say, like, "Ugh, your baby is old enough for daycare. Why don't you just put him in daycare?" Okay, that's fine for parents who either have to put their kids in daycare or prefer to put their kids in daycare. That's fine. I'm not one of those parents. I'm just not. There's no superiority there. It's just two types of parenting, right? And I would have people telling me, like, you'd be able to afford so much more if you work too. Do you ever hear me complaining about budgets? Do you ever see me upset that I don't have Gucci? No. I had something that I felt was more important than being able to afford to go to Disneyland at a specific time of the year. And I'm not talking caca about people who like Disneyland. I got a lot of people in my life who love Disneyland. I mean, Californians love Disneyland. I'm not one of them. So to me, that wasn't like, we're not missing out. I homeschooled for the first 2.5 years of my children's lives, every single last one of them. They were carried in a baby carrier, like a tribal carrier, a Moby wrap specifically, for the first 2.5 years of their life. Yeah, they would sleep on me. Very secure attachment style. My children are very bonded with each other as well as with me. It's very rare that my children fight. And if they fight, it's a short burst argument. There's no excessive aggression or anything like that. Like, you're being annoying. That's it. All of that groundwork was laid while everyone assumed I was being lazy. Really? Lazy? I homeschool multiple children. They're advanced. Not just that. I take care of everything. I kept my house impeccably clean and sterilized. I even ground our own flour. I cooked everything from scratch. Their snacks, all made from scratch. Toiletries. I made our soaps. I made our body butters. Whipped body butter. But of course, external environments don't count those things because it doesn't make money, right? You're just being lazy. No, you are being autonomous. You are choosing what is your priority. You are making things happen for you. Whether that's a hardship or something to celebrate, it's up to you. And no, I don't believe the way I parented my children is something that makes me superior. It was a choice. In exchange for a lavish lifestyle, I chose a simple lifestyle with our kids that supports my desire to be with them always. It was a choice. That's it. It's not this thing of, hey, if you work, you're just not a good parent. Excuse you. You know how hard it is to leave your kids? I did work one time when my child was 4 or 5. I worked for 2 weeks, and this job was literally like 3 blocks from our condo. I cried every day. I cried every day. Yeah. I'd show up to work with puffy eyes, and then, at lunch, I would go cry in the car. Yeah, yeah, and it was to the degree that my boss sat me down after 2 weeks and said, "You are the most amazing employee we have ever had." And with tears in his eyes, he said to me, "I have to let you go. You need to be home with your son." Because he knew I wouldn't quit. Yeah, yeah. So there's no superior anything. These are merely choices that we make based on what we believe is best for our families, best for us. You are making things happen in ways no one else can make happen. Give yourself that credit. Give yourself that credit. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, I was a stay-at-home mom. My husband made that possible. He made that possible for me to be able to stay home with our kids. He made it possible. And I supported the possibility he created by creating budgets and staying within those budgets and being perfectly happy with a simple life. You are making things happen. It requires you, no one else. It requires you. For some of us, we are presented as the outlaw, right? We're just maybe doing things to be rebellious and yada, yada, yada. No, you're doing things for your reason and leave it at that. Stop trying to create or sustain a storyline where you are being placed as a character you know is not in alignment with the reality of who you are. The sage in reverse. So you've been through a lot. You've gone through a lot. You've had a lot of experiences and you have gained wisdom, but you still refuse to see yourself as a sage, as someone that others can benefit from by simply hearing your story, right? Don't, don't, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't. Allow yourself to process your life. Allow yourself to share what should be shared, what you feel called to share, right? And then for some of us, sacred sexuality in reverse, it's this thing of, being ashamed that there is this magnetism to you. There is this draw about you. People are drawn to you. That's a sacred type of sexuality, where people are drawn to you and they don't know why. You don't necessarily have to dress provocative or any of that. They're drawn to you. They can sense this profound, this powerful creation energy. There's this thing. Oh my God, no, don't. Okay, no, I'm not going to. I was going to talk mad shit. Let me not. Hey, holding yourself accountable, right? Correcting yourself and then holding yourself accountable. That's important too. And some of you might be like, say it, let us know so that we can tell you if it's, if it really is talking shit or if you're speaking the truth. No, I am going to be speaking the truth. I was going to be speaking the truth and I was going to be stating facts. But what was my intention? To talk shit. So that's unnecessary. It's okay. I'm human. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. It's important to acknowledge these types of things, these types of thoughts, because when you do that, you know what you do? You know what you make happen? You're healing. And the recalibration that's taking place within you, 1 degree at a time, allowing you to be a better expression of your truth and your power harnessed responsibly. Fate. This entire process that you're in, it was part of your fate to begin with. It was going to be something, it was going to always be something that you were going to go through. It was just a matter of when. When is the perfect time for you to work on this? Right? Seeming like it's now because death is an ending. And endings are the precursors to new beginnings. You're making this happen. You're closing out old chapters. You're closing out old patterns and cycles and initiating new ones, powerful ones. Yep, it's now. This is something you're going to do now. So, time in reverse. You're not going to be in that holding pattern much longer. The time for that holding pattern to end is here. It's going to address the imbalance that was created when you had to stop the movement, right? That's okay. That's okay. Imbalance is not always a bad thing. Sometimes the imbalance is nothing more than the impetus for you to recognize the change. Your time to shine. I just got a notification. Yep. I just got a notification. Time to shine. It's time for you to stretch the boundaries of what you perceive is all you are capable of. You're capable of way more than simply what you're thinking. You're capable of way, way more than what you're thinking. So there's a shift that's taking place, right? And this shift has you feeling like you're ready, but you're waiting. Oh, another notification. You are unstoppable. For those of you who are wondering what notifications I'm looking at, uh, these are notifications for the Minopon Tarot. I'm subscribed to that channel. I haven't gotten a chance to watch the videos in a very long time. I just don't have time. But yeah, those are the notifications. You have the whole world in your hands. Okay, you're unstoppable. Those are confirmations. Friction in reverse. There's not always a need to exaggerate the amount of friction that's necessary, right? There's not always a need for that. Give me 1 second. Un momento, por favor. Let's see. All right. So, ooh, the other day we had a notification, or not a notification. We had a message of you not receiving the light codes, right? You not receiving any of these light codes, and it's something that is that was a very difficult thing. It kind of kept you stuck. Now there's acknowledgement that there was lack of clarification. There's acknowledgement that this lack of clarification is the very thing that has caused you to be distorted in the way you see your process, the very process that you're in. Allow your intuition to guide you. So, okay, here's the thing. This is my oracle deck. It's called Oraclair. It's sold out. I didn't print anymore, and I was considering printing more, but it's sold out before anyone asked me. And the way this deck works, there are sigils that are created. And if you allow yourself to see the sigil, like here, look at the sigil, the white lines. Allow yourself to really look at it, focus strictly on the white lines, and then close your eyes. See that white line in your mind. See it moving and swirling and integrating. Take a deep breath in. Slow exhale out. Feel your third eye pulsating. I'm not doing any energy work on anyone. You guys feel it? Like a mild heartbeat in the forehead. That's you activating your intuition. Allowing that in. Not my energy, not external energy. I'm talking about allowing in that activation of the third eye. You just did that to yourself. And that's so cool. You want clarification? Look at this one. Look at the green. This is going to be a heart based clarification. Look at the green lines. Close your eyes. Allow it to enter into your head. See the green lines. See it moving and flowing. Take a deep breath in. Slow exhale out. And feel that pulsating, very slow, steady pulsating and mild pressure, high heart, low throat area, and then the back of the head too, inside your skull, the back portion. Events are now being filtered by you. Your ability to gain clarity about what you are experiencing. It's right there now. It's there for you. It's active. I have quite a few sigils in this deck. Quite a few. And that's what they do. You don't need to consciously know what the symbols mean. These images, they are scans of artwork, custom artwork from one of my most favorite artists, Colors Magica, um, dear friend and favorite artist. And what I did, she mailed me the actual originals. I commissioned her, and for the longest time, I've had gallon-sized Ziploc bags of selenite powder from the years of me shaving selenite swords. I still have those bags. You know what I did? I went ahead and I traced over the sigils. These crystals are charged with my energy. And then I took an extremely high resolution scanner. And so that is what's printed. The codes are embedded in the image. Because I can never just do things, right? Yeah, I can never just do things. So when you handle this deck, it's intended to give you back your power and facilitate you changing your life. Yep. Receiving. Allow yourself to receive what is rightfully for you, whether it be the messages, whether it be assistance, whatever it is. Allow yourself to receive what is rightfully for you. And when you do that, you will overcome your fear. You will overcome your fear of depth. You will overcome your fear of drowning in your life circumstance. And as you overcome these things, you know what happens? You then receive your light code injection. You then receive it. And your progression is accelerated. And then you are no longer in a holding pattern. Let me get a final card. All right. Breathe deep and slow. Mhm. Moksha. Moksha of Kali, card number 39. All right. Her passionate desire for your liberation is unflagging, and so your relief shall come swiftly. She is speaking to you from within. She is the voice of reassurance. Can you hear her? Trust her. Soon you will see things in a better light. You are going to be liberated from the struggle you are currently experiencing. Be true to yourself and your life path, and you will attract the way forward as obstacles disappear. Do not turn away, for you are destined to overcome all opposition, bringing your sacred path to fruition. Moksha is a Sanskrit term meaning freedom in the sense of complete self actualization and spiritual liberation. This is everything we've been talking about. It refers to the attainment of enlightenment and is considered the final release from involuntary suffering. May I share a thought? It is my belief that all suffering is voluntary. We choose the suffering. You suffer when you fight the process you are in. And in that sense, all suffering is optional, is voluntary. The distinction between voluntary and involuntary is made because at a high level, certain divine beings will take on the experience of suffering to assist those who are yet to experience moksha. They help to carry the load and move others forward. Our love for another, our compassion for their pain, may make us wish we could take on their suffering so they no longer need to struggle. This is counter to the divine perspective of higher beings. They enter into the realm of suffering to assist all. The divine understands the purpose of suffering, that it can lead us towards wisdom, strength, and ultimately empowerment. There is an art to alleviating suffering without depriving the soul of the growth it can bring. There are loving divine beings of great wisdom willing to help those trapped in suffering at all times. We can call for assistance whenever we find our pain difficult to bear, including the anguish we feel when faced with the struggles of others. This divine being, or these divine beings, have sufficient wisdom and higher understanding to help in ways that creates benefits for all. There are times when suffering is so great that it threatens to overwhelm the soul. Perhaps that intense degree of suffering is a result of accumulated unresolved pain of generations of ancestors, resting upon the spiritual shoulders of one family member, brave enough to admit the truth when the others are trapped in delusion and denial. Similar situations can arise in a societal, religious, cultural, or corporate context. Intensified suffering can be an initiation for a particularly talented soul who has a potential to bring light and freedom to the world. That type of suffering, I have coined the term trauma induced accretion. Yes. To achieve this, that soul must learn to deal with the darkness in equal measure. That typically entails periods of intense struggle until the best methods are realized to find peace and awareness without being overcome by pain. Many mystics report dark nights of the soul, a struggle with negativity, suffering, and pain of various kinds. I'm documenting everything. Sorry, guys, for the interruption. Clown type shit. You know what I'm saying? Clown type shit. Many mystics report dark nights of the soul, a struggle with negativity, suffering, and pain of various kinds that lasts for a long time. They are not failing on their spiritual path, they are at an advanced level. So for some, it's been this thing of um, having gone through so much for so long and not knowing quite what to do. And the whys, right? Why? Why do I have to go through this? What is this about? What did I do? You're being prepared for an elevated purpose. You're being absolutely prepared for an elevated purpose. They're willing to engage with their struggles because of the great love for the truth, the light, for the divine, in whatever form resonates for their hearts. Nothing can make them turn away from that great love. Higher love is a power that fuels moksha. It fuels the release from suffering. It is spiritual juice to keep doing the inner work, to seek the path through and refuse to give up, even if we are still figuring out what our persistence is going to look like today. The moksha of Kali teaches us that our suffering is no source for shame, but rather a badge of spiritual honor, acknowledging that we are deep on the soul's healing pathway. However, that doesn't mean that the more we suffer, the more spiritual we become. And the more spiritual we become, the more we have to suffer. It does not mean that at all. It means our capacity to process our suffering increases. And in that increase, we experience more sunshine through the clouds type of moments. We experience liberation and higher understanding. Rather than a way of life, periods of suffering become like toxins our body, mind, and soul need to process and release, perhaps akin to digesting a meal, but on a multi level scale. The oracle brings a message of relief and realization. There is much you will accomplish through your own efforts, and much more that can be accomplished if you include regular prayers for assistance from the divine as part of your lifestyle. If you have been working very hard on an issue and wondering if it will ever give way to an improved set of circumstances, the oracle indicates that yes, a time of freedom from this difficulty is on its way. Unless, of course, you're a clown and don't know when to stop. Clowns are never accepted anywhere outside of the circus. This community is not a circus. Clowns are not welcome here at all, at any time, ever. To my community, you don't have to have inexhaustible amounts of grace for people who are consistently disrespectful to your sovereign choice to not interact. Not everyone is worthy of your attention. They're just not. And you have to lose your shame about having the standards that you have developed and awareness of what is and is not worth your time. I find it funny that the moment I mention I'm documenting everything and that clowns are not welcome, clowns stop commenting. Guys, my workshop is about to start. So, with that, it is time for me to go. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. I will see you guys again very soon. And for those of you who are part of my Dark Magic Revocation workshop, I will see you in the workshop space shortly. We begin in about 12 minutes. Make sure you please have um, yourself all nice and comfy, nice and comfy. And I'll see you guys soon. So, for everyone else, please make sure you follow and share. Make sure you look for me across all social media. Again, unless you're a clown. I don't do well with clowns. I find them to be insufferable, especially with undescended testicle issues. I got to go, guys. There I go again, being my human self. Love you guys. See you again very soon. Bye, everyone.